In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything.
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
Woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
At all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's ridiculous.
Bill Maher didn't just oppose Sunny Hostin. He completely dismantled her and the woke Hollywood spectacle with surgical precision and the sharp wit of a roast master. His rebuttal was flawless, leaving the audience in stunned silence. Despite both being left-wing, Maher tossed aside the woke playbook, making it clear to Hostin and everyone watching exactly where he stands.
In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get...
What did Maher say that triggered Hollywood's woke warriors into a full-blown meltdown? And how could this showdown impact the internal battle brewing on the left? Strap in. We're breaking it all down. And trust me, you won't want to miss a second.
Any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left? Watching people protest for an organization like Hamas? That straightened me up pretty quick.
Bill Maher recently appeared on Asterisk, The View Asterisk, to promote his new book, but what was supposed to be a routine PR appearance quickly turned into a fiery verbal showdown. The left-leaning hosts were left stunned as Maher effectively called out his own camp. No one saw it coming. It felt like a backyard barbecue, with the woke mob getting grilled. The tension started when Sunny Hostin tried to corner Maher with a pointed question about why he was weaponizing the term woke.
But it struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bashed. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad...
Hostin thought she was making a clever move by subtly labeling Maher a hypocrite, trying to paint him as an outsider attacking a culture he supposedly belonged to. But Maher wasn't naive. He saw right through her trap. He had no intention of falling for the woke mob's classic tactic of twisting words to trap opponents.
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want,
Okay.
because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know. Want to call it the super far left?
Maher's opening move was a masterclass in sidestepping Hostin's trap. He argued that language is fluid and that words evolve over time. Instead of sticking to the original meaning of woke, he embraced the new definition the far left had imposed. Hostin likely expected him to stumble under a charge of hypocrisy, but instead, she walked right into his carefully crafted setup. Maher flipped the script, forcing Hostin to fall into the very snare she had laid for him.
But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay? That was a joke. But,
Too dark. Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for an organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Did you catch that? Bill Maher, a die-hard leftist, admitted he was taken aback when he saw the woke crowd supporting Hamas. Meanwhile, these self-proclaimed woke warriors have the audacity to criticize Israelis for simply existing, all while applauding Hamas's mission. Despite his liberal credentials, Maher is just as shocked by this madness as the rest of us.
I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values.
Bill Maher was stunned by the fact that some people can't seem to tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. He pointed out that if you're in favor of Hamas, Try living in Gaza for a day, not during the war, but before it. He believes that after experiencing life there, you'd be begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that shares your values.
I mean, women have no, I mean, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community as well.
Yes. You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world where women are second-class citizens at best.
Most of the women on Asterisk, the View Asterisk, including Hostin, would likely choose to live in Israel over Palestine. Israelis share values that resonate with American culture, making them much more appealing. In reality, none of the self-styled woke warriors would choose Palestine, with its oppressive laws stifling women's freedoms. Maher didn't hold back, calling out the stark double standards of the woke brigade. They loudly criticize Israel, yet they'd barely survive a few minutes under Palestine's rigid rules. The irony was undeniable, and Maher spotlighted the glaring disparity in women's rights between Israel and Palestine, sending the woke faction into a frenzy.
All concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women. And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Maher landed another searing blow by highlighting the gender rights gap in many Muslim countries, the very places the woke warriors so fervently champion. Essentially, he dared Hostin and her crew to hop on a plane and see firsthand how women are sidelined at every turn. This was a subtle but crushing uppercut that left Hostin and her panel scrambling for a response. They tried to fall back on their classic, "we're just innocent bystanders" defense, hoping to trap Maher again. But Bill Maher isn't one to back down easily. If they thought he'd falter, they were in for another harsh dose of reality.
That's ridiculous, but because it's a they were and they're defending themselves. Now, this is do you think Hamas needs to be
Hostin quickly realized that Bill Maher had completely dismantled her earlier point about why a true leftist like him wouldn't embrace woke culture. Trying to regain control, she attempted to paint him as someone endorsing violence against innocent civilians. Her follow-up, coming right after Maher's brilliant rebuttal, was a textbook woke move meant to undermine his moral character. When their argument falls apart, the default tactic is to attack someone's ethics. But Maher was more than prepared for this. He fired off another salvo that completely disassembled Hostin and the woke camp strategy, delivering a masterstroke that deserves special recognition.
This is the question.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So how can we do that with a ceasefire?
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means. Okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and building.
Hostin quickly realized that Maher had just demolished her argument about why a bona fide leftist like him wouldn't support woke culture. In a desperate last-ditch effort, she tried to label him as a proponent of violence against innocent civilians, a textbook woke move. When their argument crumbles under scrutiny, they resort to moral posturing. But Maher was ready. He anticipated the move from a mile away and fired back with another crushing salvo, reducing Hostin's feeble strategy and the entire woke playbook to irreparable shambles. And here's the clincher. Maher's response wasn't just sharp, it was a masterclass in countering setups. Pay close attention, folks.
So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that.
But are you
I assume the Israeli
line?
Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop it, Israel.
It's clear Hostin is completely tongue-tied as Maher unloads his blistering tirade. But the show isn't over yet. Let's see what explosive
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
And it's narrative over truth. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it.
Yep. Yeah.
And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the...
And then it happened. A truth bomb dropped with Bill Maher's trademark calm precision. Notice how the applause erupted from everyone except Hostin. She was left speechless, like a soap dog shivering on a bitter Friday night. Maher dismantled the woke mindset so decisively that even Hostin's own panel and the typically left-leaning studio audience couldn't help but applaud his brilliance. He knows the woke playbook inside and out, tearing through its absurdities with surgical precision. But wait, he wasn't finished yet. He saved his best shot for last. When Whoopi questioned whether the media skewed the news to push a particular narrative, Maher's response was nothing short of masterful. Listen closely.
Old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives, there's still some of those
You've
left.
You've changed, though.
Wait, what are the other two?
Go ahead.
Well, that's what I. Well, that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And you know, we were saying in the break we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest because this is a word that's triggering. But I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago.
Once again, Bill Maher launched a scathing attack on the woke agenda, cleverly rebranding it as the narrative of truth. But if you're familiar with the ultra-left, you know truth isn't their real concern. Their real objective is to shove their dogmatic narratives down everyone's throats without any room for debate. They routinely sacrifice honesty for convenience, and anyone brave enough to challenge them gets swiftly canceled and erased from the conversation. That's exactly why Maher refuses to hop on the woke bandwagon. It's full of people with hidden agendas determined to erode the cultural and traditional foundations on which America was built. Maher's bold stance sent shockwaves through the room, even earning him a few converts from the right. And did you catch Hostin's reaction? She looked utterly stunned, like she'd seen a ghost, practically desperate to make her exit. Naturally, she wasn't going to let Maher have the final word. So she resorted to a desperate move, accusing him of abandoning his liberal woke ideals. But once again, Maher delivered the perfect rebuttal.
Was a term that I thought we kind of came up with because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos.
Yeah, now that's
homeless.
No, it's unhoused.
Well, it's people
Unhoused.
experiencing
Unhoused.
homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, the liberal view of that was for compassion's sake. We're the liberals. We're compassionate. Let's get these people off the street.
Yeah.
That's not the view of the whatever word we're going to come up with for this. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat, living their best life.
Bill Maher made it crystal clear. He's an old-school liberal who champions a brand of social justice that doesn't coddle people into wallowing in their own misery. He argued that his stance is worlds apart from the woke mob, who seem to think it's fine to let individuals suffer even when it harms them. To drive his point home, Maher offered a classic example. A true old-school liberal would be all for moving homeless people off the streets and into secure, comfortable shelters. Meanwhile, the woke faction would rather leave them on the sidewalk, insisting everyone else deal with the fallout. And of course, anyone who dares to call that out gets canceled without a second thought.
Just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
Maher's fearless wit, razor-sharp sarcasm, and undeniable bravery on Asterisk, The View Asterisk earned him widespread acclaim. Every viewer seemed in awe of how effortlessly he put the woke mob in their place. One fan remarked, "I've never seen anyone dismantle the liberal woke narrative so smoothly and eloquently," leaving the panel utterly dumbfounded and speechless. Others called out the hypocrisy of woke culture, with one commenter noting, "It's unbelievable how hypocritical these women are. They whine about the media not presenting both sides, when in reality, the media is already 90% on their side and never shows the opposing view."